This deal includes promises from Beijing to buy billions more in American goods and services and to protect U.S. intellectual property. But the question remains, will China abide by it? Lindsey Piegza, chief economist at Stifel Financial, is with me now. And Lindsey, she specializes in research and analysis of world economies and economic trends and activity. Good to have you on. Tell me, what did Trump get out of this?
Well, it is a step in the right direction, and certainly I do think this will be hailed as a victory for the Trump administration, but there's still considerable ground left to cover before we can talk about a meaningful trade deal between the U.S. and China. Now, on the one hand, we did see that by signing this Phase 1 deal, the administration was able to bypass a new fresh round of levies that was expected to go into effect at the end of last year. We also saw that it allowed the Trump administration to lessen some of those levies that were put in place in September. But that still means that a heavy weight of this trade war remains in place. We're still talking about $250 billion worth of Chinese goods taxed at 25%, an additional $120 billion taxed at 7.5%. So this is a step in the right direction, but we need to temper our expectations that a Phase 1 deal alone will not eliminate that burden that we've been feeling for the past 18 months in terms of American businesses and consumers.
But Lindsey, what about China? Like, will they fulfill their pledges to buy more products?
Well, as you mentioned, they did make some concessions, not necessarily on the tariff front, but on the export front. So they've pledged to increase purchases of U.S. exports by $200 billion on an annual basis, as well as, well, that would include, I should say, $50 billion of agricultural purchases. But this expectation is over the next 2 years. Now, if that, in fact, is pushed to the latter end of that time frame, we won't feel that immediate relief that specifically American farmers are hoping for in the near term. So that remains to be seen. We've also seen that the Chinese have made a pledge to eliminate a long-standing practice of forced technology transfers, operating under an environment of transparency and fairness, as they say. But we've heard these types of promises before from the Chinese government, so it remains to be seen whether or not they will follow through. They have a long history of making deals and then breaking them. So we would look to the enforcement mechanism of whether or not we will see the Chinese step up to the plate and actually follow through with some of these promises made to the Trump administration.
And especially with the election 10 months away and how this, the next steps in Phase 2 we'll explore. Lindsey Piegza, for now, thank you so much for your economic smarts. It's appreciated. Just into CNN moments.